Tonight on the Northwestern News Report, students react to President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House after winning key swing states.
And Northwestern celebrates first-generation college students with a special event.
Plus, students take center stage with a new ballet company. All of that and more tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news
right now. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Victoria Ryan.
And I'm Sabrina Carson. Tension swelled on campus after the divisive presidential election last Tuesday. Some channeled their feelings through a classic Northwestern tradition, painting the rock. Students woke up Saturday morning to find the rock with a brand new red paint job with pro-Trump messaging. Later that morning, first-year Jacob Benitez took matters into his own hands. Angered by what he saw, he immediately decided to begin his 24-hour campout at the rock. He put up a sign inviting others to join him in repainting the rock, and it worked. 2 women donated 8 buckets of paint to Benitez's cause, and a group of 10 or so students showed up the next morning, ranging from first years to seniors. The repainters wrote "Cats Against Hate" on the rock, now painted all white. On the ledge in front of the rock, they painted a quote Kamala Harris included in her concession speech: "Only when it's dark enough can you see the stars."
As far as like the actual message behind it, I've got to say this one's probably a lot more unifying and less divisive.
Then last night, NU college Republicans painted it back. NUCR camped out for the 24 hours and started to paint just past 9 p.m. Shortly after, a crowd gathered around the rock, trying to stop NUCR from putting their MAGA message up, arguing that it was hateful and did not represent students' beliefs. The crowd and college Republicans then came to an agreement, deciding to instead paint the rock with the message "NUCR for Unity." But when a bystander used NUCR's paint to cover the organization's name, it was replaced with MAGA. College Republican President Janine Yang told NNN that the plan was always to paint MAGA on the rock, even after the agreement to paint NUCR for Unity was reached.
We're here to protect the free speech of Republicans and conservatives, and we thought the best way to do that would be to put MAGA, to spur conversation. That's exactly what, Northwestern should stand for.
No one knows who originally painted the rock red. Both college Republicans and college Democrats told NNN that they were interested in having an official debate later this year.
And painting the rock is just one way people on campus express their feelings about the election. NNN's Kendall Wright spoke to Northwestern students and professors about their reactions to the results.
Former President Donald Trump found himself on a road back to the White House last week after winning the 2024 election against Vice President Kamala Harris. With Trump now president-elect, the Northwestern community described their reactions to the election's results.
A collective sadness, being a Black woman and also being a college student.
I still am very disappointed in the decision that our country has made.
He was a bit surprised by how decisive that victory was, both in the popular vote and the Electoral College.
Not only did Trump win the race to 270, but he swept all 7 battleground states, which stretch from the Rust Belt to the American Southwest. With Kamala Harris's defeat, some wonder what might have went wrong for the Harris campaign.
Maybe not breaking as much with Joe Biden and the Biden administration may have been her mistake, just given how much dissatisfaction voters were feeling with the economy, with a lot of the conflict abroad in Ukraine, the Middle East.
Some students felt there were some other factors at play.
I think racism and sexism definitely played a role in this election result, for sure.
Medill professor Peter Slevin, who spent Election Day speaking with voters in Wisconsin, said one man expressed a sentiment that might back up that claim.
I spoke with a man who had just voted for Trump, and he said, look, women aren't qualified to be president. If you have a problem, you don't call a woman, you call a man.
Slevin, along with students, shared their concerns around a second Trump presidency.
I worry about his policies on climate. I worry about his disinterest in alliances, including the NATO alliance. I worry that he will pull the plug on Ukraine. And when he says he will deport millions of people living in this country, I wonder how on earth that's going to happen and what it will mean to the economy, an economy that depends on undocumented workers in so many different sectors.
Trump is going to manage to break down more of our systems of democracy so that he has less checks to his power.
Him turning our government into an authoritarian system.
President-elect Donald Trump is set to take office January 20th, where he will serve his second term. In Evanston, I'm Kendall Wright, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Kendall.
On to some local political news. After weeks of controversy, District 65 has decided to keep 7th and 8th graders at Bessie Roads open through the end of the school year. The district initially proposed moving the grades elsewhere due to a shortage of licensed educators for core subjects. Superintendent Angel Turner announced Friday that central office department heads will step in to teach these classes for the rest of the school year. This comes as the Bessie Road School is set to close after the 2025 to 2026 school year, as voted on by the school board back in June, despite protests from families and parents in the district. For now, the district will continue to assess staffing and student enrollment throughout the year and will communicate any changes in advance. We will continue to provide updates. Coming up, students and parents share their Wildcat pride under the stars during Family Weekend.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back. Northwestern University's Dearborn Observatory celebrated Family Weekend with a special stargazing event, offering students and their families a chance to bond under the night sky and explore the cosmos. NNN Margaret Gonzalez has the story.
This past weekend, Northwestern students welcomed their families to campus for Family Weekend. The event offered students and their loved ones a chance to reconnect and maybe learn something along the way. One of the standout events this past weekend was at Northwestern Dearborn Observatory, where families were invited to share a special stargazing experience together. This unique opportunity allowed students and their families to explore the cosmos side by side, creating an unforgettable moment under the night sky.
It's such a meaningful experience for students to be able to have that with their parents. You know, universities are such great ways to disseminate this information, and I think everyone can be a lifelong learner. You know, it doesn't stop when you become a parent.
When speaking with parents of one first-year Weinberg student, they shared how the observatory event brought back fond memories.
And I remember when the kids were little and we were all like just pointing at the different projections and different stars and galaxies and constellations, and they would fight over who would like say the answer out loud first, right?
With such a beautiful night, families not only had the opportunity to gain information from the tour guides, but also use the Dearborn telescope to see the night sky.
You don't have to know anything about physics. You don't have to know anything about astronomy to come here, learn something, and really have that appreciation of the universe.
In Northwestern campus, Margaret Gonzalez, Northwestern News Network.
If you missed out on this opportunity, you can still enjoy stargazing at the Dearborn Observatory every Friday night. Tours run from 8 to 9 p.m. with a reservation and from 9 to 10 p.m. for walk-ins.
There was more to celebrate this weekend. November 8th was National First Generation College Students Day. NNN's Marcela Cano has more on how Student Enrichment Services celebrated right here on campus.
Coming from diverse backgrounds, students came together to celebrate a shared experience.
Because I'm first gen, I have like all these opportunities. And, like this event also, it's like really nice to meet other first gen or like low income people.
Student Enrichment Services surprised students on November 8th with a first generation pop-up event where students grabbed merch and goodies. It also served as a reminder that
it's like seen as not a bad thing. It's just who you are. It's like a part of like your experience here at Northwestern.
14.6% of the class of 2027 are first-generation students. That number rose to 16% for the class of 2028.
My parents came here for a better life for me and my brother. So to me, it's honoring the choice that they made and going through with, my decision of going to college and actually getting my degree.
First-generation students like Valeria Sanchez navigate limited support and unexpected obstacles while working towards their degree.
My dad lost his job and I appealed for more money, but they're like, yeah, no. And it's tough in that sense because it's like, yeah, they do give you support, but then that support feels a little bit conditional at the same time.
And for many, this experience brings a sense of resilience even as they struggle to bridge the gap between their own resources and those of their peers.
Make sure that you're not trying to compare yourself to people who have had, oh God, so many more resources than you can even dream of.
As these students celebrate, events like this remind them of the power in their stories, a community built on resilience and determination, honoring roots while building a future. Marcela Cano, Northwestern News Network.
Marcela joins us now in studio. Marcela, what are some challenges that first-generation students tend to face?
It's really a case-by-case basis, but financial needs are often a major challenge as many first-gen students come from lower income backgrounds and might struggle to afford tuition, housing, and textbooks. Academically, they may enter college at a disadvantage, lacking the preparation or resources that some of their peers have, which can make coursework and time management difficult. Also, many first-gen students experience imposter syndrome, feeling like they don't truly belong or that they're less capable than their peers.
Yeah, and what resources are available on campus for first-generation students?
A big one is Student Enrichment Services, who hosted the First Generation pop-up event. They work specifically with students who are first generation, lower income, and or undocumented. They host events throughout the year with campus partners, offer academic and financial support, and they have their own space in Plex House 6 where students can pop in to hang out and or if they need any support.
Amazing. Thanks, Marcela.
It's time for Under the Microscope, where we give you the latest on Northwestern science and tech news. Researchers at Northwestern Medicine identified a strand of RNA that may be linked to genetic disorders. Along with a team from MIT and Harvard, scientists found that this strand is linked to CHD2 protein production. This protein is a so-called Goldilocks gene, meaning that too little or too much of it in the body is not good. A deficit of CHD2 is linked to epilepsy and autism, while too much can lead to neurodevelopmental disorders. And new scientists say this discovery unlocks new methods for treating these disorders.
And a Northwestern-led team of engineers have created a wearable skin-like device. It mimics the properties of skin and allows researchers to study complex sensations when developing prosthetics. The device is made of 19 small magnetic sensors that read different feelings, like vibration, pressure, and twisting. Using Bluetooth technology, users can read the data from their smartphone. This data can be used in a variety of ways, from gaming and virtual reality to storing energy with sensory interactions.
And Northwestern scientists have made a breakthrough in the treatment of Huntington's disease. This incurable disease is caused by a genetic mutation that leads to proteins to clump together in the brain. Researchers at NU created the first polymer-based treatment to prevent proteins from binding. In a preliminary experiment, mice that were given the treatment experienced no severe side effects. While there is still no cure, scientists hope this treatment will help delay disease onset or reduce symptoms. That's all we have for Under the Microscope.
But after the break, let them eat cake. The history department shares a slice of their winter course offerings.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, four.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
As the leaves start to fall, Northwestern students look to register for winter classes. The history department partnered with Benison's Bakery to host their traditional Cakes and Classes event. NNN's Taylor Hancock spoke to students interested in history courses.
Students and professors gathered at Harris Hall Monday to get a slice of winter history courses. Medill Jr. Lily Ogburn says it's an event she looks forward to every quarter.
Actually had us leave class to take a break and come get cake, which I think was really fun.
The quarterly Cakes and Classes event gives a preview of the next quarter history classes, as told by professor-issued cake. Ogburn says meeting the professors is a big reason she attends every year.
I actually got to meet the person who's going to be my TA that are here already. So that was a nice little thing because I got to meet the TA before the class, plus I went into the class already knowing a lot about what I was going to be learning that quarter.
After declaring her major earlier this month, first-year Sophia Cheng says she is considering both cake and syllabus this registration cycle.
I really liked the cake for American environmental history. I thought it was super cool, and also a global history of prisons and camps. I talked to the professor for a while on that one, so they were both really cool, and the cakes were really delicious. Yeah.
And first-year Gabby Bernstein checked out classes online beforehand, but says the cakes made a difference.
I mean, I think I would have been able to figure out which class I wanted to take without the event, but it kind of makes it more fun and free cake.
Sporting an image of a witch trial, this cake belonged to Professor Haley Bowen, who will be teaching witchcraft in the early modern Atlantic world next quarter. Professor Bowen had one of the mini cakes that was gone by the end of the event.
One of the joys for me as a faculty is seeing how many wonderful course offerings we have, how many talented professors we have, and this event is really an opportunity to celebrate what the history department has to offer, which is really special, I think.
Joseph Suchala, a current student of Bowen's, says these events make the department unique.
And I can't speak for a lot of other departments and stuff, but I like being a history major. I like kind of the community that it brings.
From Harris Hall, Taylor Hancock, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Taylor. Check out the History Department's website to see additional course offerings.
While you're planning your winter class schedule, you should also plan for the weather ahead. NNN's Gabriela Amberher-Medalliou is here in the studio with this week's forecast. Gabriela, prepping for winter quarter already has me stressed out, and I'm wondering if the weather's about to add to that. What should we expect this week?
Well, I can't make any promises for winter quarter, but I can tell you a little bit more about what this weekend is going to look like. Right now, we're looking at a high pressure system in the northeast of Evanston, and because of this high pressure system, we're looking at windy conditions into the night. However, it is currently bringing us clear and dry skies to look forward to. Currently, we have clear skies, and winds will pick up later tonight to 18 miles per hour. We're looking at a high of 49 and a low of 44, and temperatures will drop by the hour from the upper 40s to the lower 40s as we head into Wednesday morning. For tonight, our precipitation is looking clear, and we are expecting no precipitation for the rest of the night. The local temperature radar expected to be warmer by the lake due to easterly winds, and we're hoping to see higher weather as we go into the week. However, those clear skies won't stay for long. All week, starting windy, highs in the low to mid 50s, and then the upper 50s as we head into the weekend. However, we're looking at a cloudy Wednesday through the day and a storm system moving into Wednesday night into Thursday morning with heavy rain. It should be out of our area by the time morning rush hour hits for Thursday. We're cloudy rest of Thursday, and clouds clear out a bit for Friday, just in time for the end of the week, and return in the evening into the weekend.
Thanks, Gabriella. Coming up, pause and reflect on this trio bringing ballet to the student body. We'll be right back.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back. Northwestern welcomed a new dance group to campus this fall, Reflections Repertory Company. NNN's Gabriel Bernick sat down with the founders to discuss its origins.
Students Itong Zong, Morgan Dreyer, and Mila Branson have been performing ballet since they were kids. Wishing to pursue their passion at a higher level, they founded the Reflections Repertory Company.
Reflections is a student dance organization here at Northwestern that focuses mostly on ballet. Or an audition-based group featuring a performance company, and then we also have general members that partake in our open classes.
We wanted to bring together all these individuals who maybe felt like they didn't already have a place in the dance community here, and then just create an environment where they could all come together and dance.
Zong is the artistic director of Reflections. She leads open classes and rehearsals.
I feel like I just become my old ballet teachers that I had in high school. It's just like, if I see something that could be improved, then I have the ability to help someone try and improve it.
She's my really close friend, so it's cool to see another side of her where she's leading a room and teaching a class, and to get to learn from her because we all come from different dance backgrounds.
Reflections will make their debut with a winter show titled Sparks Fly, beginning on Valentine's Day. They will perform in a second showcase in the spring.
We've already finished one piece and 2 rehearsals, and it's just really exciting to see how excited everyone else is about it and see the fruition of everything we've been working towards.
Practicing steps while staying on point. Gabriel Bernick, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Gabriel. For more information, visit their Instagram page at ReflectionsNU. So, have you ever taken any dance classes?
Yes, I actually danced from ages 2 to 18. How
oh
about
my
you?
gosh! I used to take them, but I think I stopped around 12 or 13. What did you use to dance?
I did a lot of different styles, and speaking of a lot of different styles, I'm excited for Refusion Shaka this weekend. Will you be going?
Ooh, it will definitely be so much fun. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out to one of the shows, yeah.
That's amazing!
That's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Victoria Ryan.
And I'm Sabrina Carson. Have a great night.